Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, welcome back viewers. We were discussing in the last class about ESD framework, a UNESCO ESD framework for achieving sustainable development goals by 2030, and how a multi-stakeholder partnership, multi-stakeholder initiative framework that we have already discussed. And to continue with that, now we will discuss about the other aspects of ESD and sustainable development goals. So, here again we will discuss about some community based ESD practices and policies. So, in the that framework, that multi-stakeholder partnership framework, we have already discussed the different categories of stakeholders, how they play an active role, and how at the community level how they coordinate, etc. So, similarly community based ESD practice and how the community plays a very important role, and what sort of ESD practices and policies they should adopt to mobilize all the resources, both in natural resources as well as the human resources. So, first thing is that we can say here, as you can see, first is that responding is the first thing is that responding is the whatever the challenges that we are facing, what are the emergencies that are coming, we need to respond to it. On all the environmental environmental alerts, challenges, disasters, all kinds of any whatever is happening in our environment, we need to respond to it. We cannot ignore, we cannot be immune to. So, that is where nowadays, for example, there is climate change, excessive temperature and temperature rise, or frequent natural calamities, disasters, pandemics, all kinds of things. So, we need to respond to these emergencies. We need to respond to these emergencies. So, responding should be our first level of behavior at the community level. Then second time is that sustaining it. Like if when we adopt some kind of good habits, positive behavior, skills, trainings, competency, we have to sustain it. So, we have to sustain it, keep on it, carry on it for a long time. So, that is the sustaining the positive behavior, positive attitude, and positive lifestyle. Then so with sustaining behavior, positive behavior, then only we can bring any kind of transformation. So, responding to the urgencies, needs of the society, needs of the environment, time, etc. Then sustaining the positive behavior, lifestyle, sustainable habits, consumption styles, caring the environment, all kinds of things, conserving the resources. Then after this sustaining behavior, then we can bring the transformation in our community, in our society. So, transformation can only be possible with the positive sustenance of our habits, behaviors, and the conservation patterns. So, after transforming, then again we have to engage, So, thereafter our next steps comes in that after transformation we have to engage ourselves into this positive behavior, positive actions, positive habits, and positive patterns of behavior, like that is then how to engage all kinds of stakeholders in a very sustainable manner and way. So, that is the engaging youth engagement of the senior citizens, engagement of our people, engagement of common man, etc. So, engaging how everybody, every citizen, every stakeholder can be an change agent by engaging themselves in different kinds of positive activities. Then after engaging, then again enabling. So, here comes enabling or empowering. Then enabling them, that means enhancing their efficiency and efficacy by giving more training, more workshops, more awareness programs, more internship, more work experience. So, then from engaging to enabling, and enabling is here that enabling their capacities, capacity building, training, etc. Then After enabling, after empowering, so you can say by empowering, by enabling, enabling through training etc., we are empowering them. Then after they get this, after this the last stage you can say embedding. So, automatically it becomes a feature of our culture, you can say, of our community, of our cultures, that is embedding, that all these positive practices, sustainable practices, lifestyle, all kinds of good things will be a part of our day to day practices, that is embedding in our cultural practices. Okay. So, starting from responding to the environmental challenges, demands, alerts etc., to sustaining behavior, transforming these into the social positive impact, then engaging our youth in positive activities etc., then enabling them and empowering them through different kinds of training and programs, and then making it a part of the whole work culture or society or the community, that is it would be embedded in our work practices, in our lifestyles. So, these are, we can say, these are the community based ESD practices. How these are the different aspects, you can say, aspects of ESD practices and policy. So, whatever we are doing, it should be based on either on the ESD based this kind of policy or the practices, then automatically it would be embedded in our culture, in the work culture. So, like for example, I am giving you an example of Japan. Japan is a leader, is you can say sustainability SDG leader, you can say in Asian context. In Asian context is a sustainable leader, and from the very beginning, starting from the grassroots level to the school education to till the youth, over the generation, over the years, over the generation, again and again, they have adopted this kind of ESG practices, this kind of remedy. So, you can say in the Japanese culture, sustainability is that means immensely inherently embedded in their culture. Every small child to a senior citizen to any machinery, any organization, any institution, everybody, everywhere you can find the reflection of the sustainability in their habits, in their lifestyle, in their care, and in their care for the planet. For every action, attitude, behavior and everything, you can find the sustainability component. So it is not easy to build up over with only 4 year, 5 year of 10 within 10 years. It requires actually generations, it requires the ages. So, but if you can start, you can begin from very beginning, from the very early time, so then we can achieve. So, after the World War II, this Japan has adopted not only a peaceful culture, but a sustainable culture, and from the very beginning, from the grassroots level itself, it has adopted. So, now we can say in the Asian context, the Japan is the sustainability champion, we can say champion. So, now it also promotes sustainability across the world by giving donations, contributions towards the African countries, to other underdeveloped or developing countries. So, similarly, it has to be embedded in our lifestyle, in our culture, cultural practices, in our environment, in our, you can say, in our habit pattern, in our habit and in our habit pattern in our system itself. So, this is the community based ESD practices and policies to be adopted for achieving SDG by 2030. Now, we can see the Okayama commitment. So, it is a Japan case study I am discussing. So, Okayama commitment, how this 2014 this Japan has conducted a kind of survey, a project, is a project how every member, every stakeholder, every citizen is actively engaged in this kind of sustainable practices, sustainable projects. This is an example of this. You can go through the case study in detail in the website. So, Japan and Okayama commitment, their commitments are like, first commitment is their environmental conservation. Okay. Environmental conservation. Second is the disaster risk reduction. Yes, as all of us we know, Japan is very prone towards the natural disaster of frequent tsunamis, earthquakes and all kinds of natural disasters. So, their disaster preparedness is very strong. So, there you can say they have developed a system not only in their housing, not only in their agriculture, not only in their infrastructure and industry. So, they have adopted a kind of disaster proof kind of technology for protecting. But however, they have also developed the disaster risk reduction, how to minimize the reduction, how to be proactive and prepared prepared with the system for the disaster proof or risk proof kind of infrastructure and system. Then income generation for all categories of the citizens, income generation, entrepreneurship skills, community development, these are their primary commitments, Jamaat projects commitments. Similarly, cultural diversity and dialogue, having the dialogue with with everybody. So, cultural diversity not only restoring, conserving, preserving their own culture, but also welcoming the cultural diversity and dialogue. So, similarly, intergenerational exchange, intercultural exchange. So, these are also their primary areas, and yes, how to enhance, to increase, to improve, to ensure the literacy rate, highest level of literacy rate, to increase the literacy rate across the country. Then empowerment means every human being, every individual citizen would be empowered with one or other skills, competencies, etc., to lead their livelihood in a sustainable way. So, these are in the Japan Yokohama project, the commitments were these were the commitments. So, here again so there can be the 6 action principles. So, there can be 6 action principles. So, for example, as we have already discussed these things earlier, responding to the emergent local community issues that impact on achieving the sustainable, like when we are operating, functioning or performing in a particular locality area, we have to urgently address the local issues, community issues that are the resources available, the skills available, the potentialities available, and how and what are the community, that means local challenges, what are the community issues. So, to address these emerging community issues and issues that can have the impact on achieving the sustainable development, to address these urgent issues. Second, engaging with different key players to respond effectively to the issues of identified, engaging with different key players like health professionals, block development officers, school teachers, students, parents, then other community members, etc. So, all the to engage with all the key players who can play a major role in achieving this sustainable development. So, engagement with these key players, enabling all those who seek solutions, enabling all those who seek solutions to sustainability issues to contribute actively to finding them, those who are interested, how to enable them to through resources, through training, through workshops, etc. Then embedding these principles and practice of ESD in our daily life. After engaging and enabling and empowering the people, then how to embed these principles in the ESD as a daily life, in our school life, in our in our community level, in our health centers, in our panchayats, in our police station, in our all block development offices, everywhere. How can we adopt the ESD practices? Then sustaining the change. So, whatever positive changes are taking place, the achievements, that is the which can be which should not be focused only for the short term project timelines, but also for the long term. Like whatever changes that has happened because of these 3 or 4 year projects, sponsored projects or the government sponsored projects, etc. But how to continue that positive changes? It's not just for that the project is over, the change is over, or the timeline is gone. No, not that. How to keep on, how to continue with that positive changes. Okay, so that is the sustaining the changes and achievement beyond a short term project line. Beyond that means in the long run. Then transforming ourselves, our practices, our policies towards a more sustainable future. Whatever it has already happened during this 3 to 4 years project period, action research period, etc. How to continue with that for the future, and how to how to safeguard, how to conserve, how to utilize, how to practice, how to continue with that practices and policies, how to ensure that this transformation becomes permanent. So, here the 4 policy support mechanisms are there. What are policy support mechanism? Providing the resources, sufficient resources to all stakeholders, networking and partnerships, because otherwise without networking, without partnership, without collaboration, it is not possible by only a handful of people. So, for this we have to develop a robust network, partnership, that is multi-stakeholder partnership, and frequently, that means with the frequent meetings, frequent awareness programs, timelines, more formal structure of these governing bodies and etc. Platforms, then action plans, monitoring, evaluation, everything. So, then thereafter from time to time capacity building through organizing different health camps, different training programs, different awareness programs, and different kind of different kinds of intervention programs. So, this is the capacity building programs through different kind of training programs, etc. Then the content development. After some time, then after these things, then we can also develop some content like for using it as the leaflet for media publication, for learning material as also in informal and non-formal context. So, content development for the adult literacy, for adult or senior citizens, for the health professionals, for the community level workers or the youth organizers. So, these are the 4 policy support system: providing resources, networking, partnership, capacity building through training, etc., and then content development. So, again now here we will be discussing how education is related to other SDGs. So, we are talking about that ESD, how ESD can enable us, can help us in achieving SDGs, all the SDGs 17. So, now we will see how this education is related to all the 17 SDG targets. As we can see, goal number 1 is zero poverty. When it says that zero poverty is the goal of SDG 1. So, definitely education plays a very critical role in lifting the people out of poverty through education, through jobs, through employment, through skills, etc. So, definitely it is directly related to goal 2, that is education plays a key role in helping the people to move towards more sustainable farming methods and and understanding the nutrition. So, when we talk about the goal 2, that is zero hunger, how to ensure the zero hunger? Definitely we have to enhance our farming practices, agriculture practices, we have to enhance our nutritional status, health issues, etc. So, education definitely plays an active role, important role towards towards promoting sustainable farming methods, agriculture method, and understand the nutrition, basic nutrition, health and balanced diet and sustainable health, all these things. Then goal 3 is that education again play critical difference to raise the health issues. Okay, health issues like how to reduce the mortality, the infant mortality rate, how to ensure the healthy reproductive health, spread of disease, spread of disease can be curbed by through vaccines, through immunization programs, like pulse polio, all these pulse polio programs, or you can say HIV awareness camps, etc. So, how to adopt a healthy lifestyle, healthy well-being, take care of our health status, both physical health and mental health. So, that is the education can only make the difference. Then goal 4 itself is quality education, and goal 5 is that education for women and girls, particularly very important to achieve the basic literacy, improve the participative skills, and skills and abilities to improve the life chances, the goal 5. Then goal 6 is that education training also increases the skills and capacities to use the natural resources more sustainably, and how it can promote health and hygiene, etc. Goal 7 again educational programs, both formal, informal, non-formal, can promote the better energy consumption, how to invest in the more research and intervention in the clean and safe and clean and sustainable energy, creating the clean energy from solar sources, solar energy, wind energy, and hydro energy. Then how to minimize our carbon footprint, how to be carbon positive, that means how to adopt this zero carbon footprint kind of approach towards our life. So, how to uptake the renewable energy sources, how to conserve energy, how to minimize our how to discover, how to innovate this energy efficiency methods, bulbs like LED bulbs and so on things. So, how to conserve energy, how to save energy for the future generation, and how to go for the renewable and clean energy. Similarly, education helps in goal SDG 8, that is to increase the economic viability, entrepreneurship, job market skills, vocational through by promoting technical vocational education, entrepreneurship educations, and how to enhance the economic prosperity, economic growth of our country. So, then goal 9 again, education is also necessary to develop skills required to build more resilient infrastructure and more sustainable industrializations. Now, we have to learn also how to build up this resilient infrastructure with longevity, more usefulness, cost effectiveness for building a sustainable industrialization in our country. So, this is up to goal 9. Then with regard to goal 10 again, so where the quality equally accessible education makes a proven difference in the social and economic equality. So, when goal 10 deals with the social ensuring the social and economic equality, so how education can help us in bringing the difference, that is in ensuring the social and economic equality. Then goal 11, that is education can give the people the skills and practices to shape their safe and maintain the sustainable cities to achieve a resilience in disaster situations, lifestyle to promote their promote their behavior, lifestyles. So, how to build achieve the resilience in disaster proof situations. So, skill and preparedness, all kinds of for building the sustainable cities, that is education again is there. So, goal 12 again, education can also make the difference in the production pattern when we talk about the sustainable consumption, sustainable production, and can enable the consumers to understand how to use more sustainably produce the goods and how to prevent the food wastage, goods wastage, etc., and how to consume sustainably and how to conserve it for the future also, with the minimum depletion of the environmental resources. So, then goal 13 again, it is the education again is the keys for mass understanding the impact of climate change, and to the adaptation and the mitigation of these, and particularly at the local level. Okay. So, to how to bring down the carbon footprints to the zero level, and how to take actions, strategic actions for this. Then goal 14 again. So, goal 14 again, education is important in developing the awareness of the marine marine environment, that is life below water, how to take care of the marine life below water, how to take care of the our marine life through proactive consensus regarding the wise and sustainable use of marine water, and without wasting without damaging damaging the marine life. Okay, like through through in the business transaction, through oil spills and all kinds of the waste, that means waste products being released to the oceans and rivers. So, that is then how to take care of the biodiversities, how to recycle the waste and waste management, how to, that is to to take care of our marine life. Okay, that is 15. Then 16 is that yes, social learning is again it plays a vital role in facilitating and ensuring the participative and inclusive and just societies for all the stakeholders and citizens, as well as maintain the social coherence. Social learning, observational learnings, social intelligence, skill based learning, sustainability competences, all these are to be learned and acquired for maintaining the social cohesion, social coherence. Then goal 17, it deals with the global partnership. Partnership is that partnership through the network model, partnership network. So, lifelong learning builds the capacity to understand and promote the sustainable development policies, practices through global partnership, like through global partnership across the globe. With partnership and networking, how can we ensure, how can we sustain this development, and how can we update our policies and practices for ensuring the sustainable future. So, here the frame model for sustainable competencies again. So, in order to achieve all these things, then and to make education as a key tool, weapon for achieving all these things, definitely we have to develop a kind of framework, a framework model. So, regarding the goals or the objectives as recommended by ESD, two major sources were identified. First thing, so two major sources. What are these two major sources? There is a need to change the attitude among the people. So, So, you can say for ESD can play an active role, key role in bringing the transformation in our society, in our lifestyle, in our behavior, but it will take time. Time and effort, consistent effort, time and practices. ESD can mobilize it, but again at the end we are the end users, we are the major stakeholders. So, we have to adopt it, we have to understand it, we have to observe all these practices, we have to learn it immersively, so that it is being embedded in our, not only in our behavior, but in our mindset, in our thought process, in our feeling, in our affective domain, in our in our cognition. So, how can we observe this kind of how can we observe this kind of practices, ESD practices? So, that for that way, from the very beginning we need to change the attitude among the people, so that they are able to access and address their concerns about sustainable development. So, here we can say ESD has to be inculcated, has to be included, has to be incorporated, has to be nurtured within ourselves, within the mindset, within the attitude of our people across the region, across the category, across the age group, etc., as a paradigm shift, as a shift in our thought process. That can only bring the positive changes. So, changing the attitude, human attitude of different categories of people and stakeholders and citizens is not an easy thing. So, in order to change the attitude, means to change the mindset, we have to shift, you have to emphasize, re-emphasize and focus on education, learning, training, unlearning certain unsustainable practices, relearning, transforming, updating, continuous effort with deep contemplation, with deep realization, deep reflection. So, it is a continuous effort to bring the change in the attitude, that is, we have to bring the paradigm shift in our thought process, in our thinking style. So, there are goals and recommendations which are mostly developed by the researchers in the education field, which often also achieve a higher degree of differentiation, like analyzing the analysis of the existing ESD learning goals, etc. But there are, so we are getting so much of good results, findings, etc., in learning tools, goals, etc., in research, etc. But there is a significant deficit in terms of operationalization of this ESD output. So, whatever research findings we are getting, it is very difficult to operationalize, to make it a part of our practice, daily practice. So, that requires rigorous training, rigorous exposure, rigorous refreshing our mindset, attitude, behavior through repetition, through learning, through unlearning, through training. So, that is why we have to bring that paradigm shift through embedding it in our practices, engaging ourselves actively in all the activities and behavior, thought process, emotion, so that it can become a part of our consciousness. So, how can we put it in the conscious mind of every citizen? Then only the attitude can be changed. So, at the cognition level, we have to ensure that it has been put in our mindset, in our thought process, in our consciousness level, so that we are not only actively thinking of it, but we are actually adopted it. We have absorbed this thing as a characteristic features within ourselves. So, whatever we are doing, be it cooking, be it taking food, being it going for attending a ceremony, cultural practices, any function, anything, whatever do, that kind of consciousness, that awareness should be there within us. So, that is whatever ESD research outcomes are coming out, but it is very difficult to operationalize, to implement it at the grassroots level. So, that is why, so without operationalizing the resulting non-existent measures, the resulting non-existing measuring instruments. So, again we need to operationalize it, again from time to time also we need to measure it, that how much positive impact and progress has been made. So, for that we also need the proper instrument measuring tools and instruments. So, the needs of ESD and the effects of ESD related interventions in terms of interventions, seminar projects, etc., can be determined, can be measured, can be evaluated empirically. Okay. So, first thing is that how to bring change in the attitude of all the people and give them the access and address to concern to be concerned about the sustainable development issues, factors, targets and SDGs, etc. But again research findings, we have to find out a kind of way out of implementing the research findings of existing ESD learning goals and policies and framework, etc., to operationalize it at the grassroots level, so that ESD outputs can be implemented, can be operationalized. And again, when after operationalization, we have to measure its resulting effect. That is for that also we have to develop different measurement tools and instruments and the scales, etc., to measure the positive, to measure the impact, both quantitative impact and the qualitative impact. So, that is why it is a major challenge, like we can say how to bring that change in the mindset, how to put it into the consciousness, how to inculcate in the consciousness of the people, of the citizens, so that not only they think of it, they are aware of it, they feel its importance, they are motivated, motivated to adopt that kind of sustainable lifestyle, consumption style, etc. And again, what are the latest research findings are coming up, that how it can be operationalized, how it can be implemented at the practice level, and again how we are going to measure the impact of the transformation, the impact of that positive changes that has happened because of engaging and enabling and empowering the sustainable resources, sustainable manpower and sustainable lifestyle. So, that has to be, which again can be verified empirically. So, here to bring the change, paradigm shift not only at the thought process, at the level of cognition, but at the level of emotion, affect, motivation, and then in terms of practice, behavior, and then in terms of measurement, evaluation, measurement, and then again at the level of empirically validating it, empirically experimenting on art and validating it. So, this is a kind of so through this we have to develop n number of sustainability competencies. So, right now I am stopping it here. So, in the next class we will continue with this.